Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Gail Bliss, and I would like to introduce Bret Wagner, running for Madison School Board Seat number 3. As we begin, please give us an opening statement about your educational, vocational, and civic experience you have, which prepares you for this office, and why you are running for school board.
Well, thanks, Gail, for this invitation. It's great to be with you and addressing your viewers. I'm running for Madison School Board as a Madison dad on a mission. And that mission is to make sure that every student feels like they belong, that every teacher receives the compensation, the support, and the respect that they deserve, and to prioritize results and transparency, making sure that the data drives smart decisions around things like curriculum, around people, and around how we spend our budget. My professional background, I spent a number of years as a high school physics and chemistry teacher. So I saw firsthand what works in the classroom. I'm a junior achievement board member and classroom volunteer where I work with students on financial literacy, on career readiness, on entrepreneurship. As an engineer and business person, I lead complex transformation work in healthcare systems, but always while keeping human needs central to our efforts. And as Cherokee Heights PFO president, I'm seeing results when we get the basics right. Things like strong school leadership, strong systems, really strong school culture, and students and teachers that have bought in to that culture. As a parent and community member, I'm a father of 2 MMSD students, so obviously deeply invested in our public school success. And I understand both classroom and parent perspectives. My own educational journey in middle school was a bit of an awkward time, as it is, I'm sure, for many. Felt like I didn't belong in high school. But when I got to Mr. Rumpy's classroom, Mr. Rumpy was a high school chemistry teacher who created a space where every student belonged and where he really pushed us to try our very best. His influence led to my pursuit of an engineering degree, as well as my way to teaching. I believe strongly that every student deserves an adult in their life like Mr. Rumpy, who believes deeply in their potential and is there to support them along their journey.
Thank you. What, if anything, would you like to see the district do to better promote safety and wellness for staff and students?
Yeah, taking a look, wellness, I'll speak on the topic of mental health. And certainly we're all experiencing and observing the rise in student anxiety and depression. And this is a problem that really requires action. I think there are 3 things: prevention, comprehensive support services, and school culture and environment. On the first, with basic needs, we need to address foundational needs that impact mental health. That includes the universal breakfast program so that no child starts their day hungry, effective advisory programs that connect every student with a trusted adult, and early warning systems that track engagement, attendance, and grades. As a district, we do a good job on the attendance and the grades front. I'd like to see more focus spent around student engagement and measuring that consistently and more frequently. Around comprehensive support services, our current staffing doesn't match student needs. All right, so we need to ensure that our counselor ratios meet national recommendations. We need to expand partnerships with groups like UW Health and Journey Mental Health. The REST program that is part of Journey Mental Health, this is a school-based program for youth in and around the Madison area. I'd like to see an expansion of that program. I'd also like to create and fund school-based mental health clinics in all schools. And then finally, around school culture and environment, mental health improves when students feel like they belong. And I'm making this a central part of my platform, building genuine sense of community in every classroom by every child, reducing academic stress through balanced scheduling and creating quiet spaces for decompression during the day. I personally saw this as the Cherokee Heights PFO president, how their R&R room at Cherokee Heights is working well for that school.
Thank you. Is there more the district can do to recruit and retain a diverse staff?
Yeah, I think we need to invest in teachers as professionals, and this is part of central to my platform. Number one, competitive base salaries, matching surrounding districts. And we also need to get creative. Things like housing assistance, perhaps for programs for new teachers and childcare support options, as well as loan forgiveness partnerships. I think the working environment is another part of this. So teachers really need and deserve the freedom to teach. So we should audit and eliminate places where there's redundant administration or paperwork. We should give teachers a voice in the curriculum decisions. And we should really respect teachers' professional judgment, treating teachers as trusted professionals, as I like to say. And then the third, in career growth and development, there need to be clear pathways for advancement. So there are some example programs already in district, grow your own partnerships with groups like UW-Madison and Madison College, paid teacher residency programs, as well as mentorship opportunities with stipends. And this is going to help twofold. One, increase the pipeline of teachers to classrooms, but also expand the diversity of teachers making their way to Madison classrooms.
In the wake of the recent referendum, what do you see as the most critical budget issues now facing the board?
Yeah, I think resource allocation is definitely part of it, making sure that we're making data-driven decisions about how we are resourcing our schools, where we're spending our money on capital improvements, as well as operations. So we need to make sure that we are analyzing neighborhood demographics and make sure that there are clear metrics for program effectiveness and capacity utilization across the schools. And this kind of ties into our slight downward trend in enrollment. What are those things that are going to draw parents to the district that might be opting out, either open enrolling in one of our area school districts, or private schools for that matter? So I think program excellence is another part of it, keeping families choosing MMSD by offering things like advanced learning opportunities in every school, strong neighborhood school options. This ties into our 7 community schools already in district with our village builders. That is a program that is bearing fruit and deserves to be expanded. The dual language program expansion, where demand exists. Our 2 kids experienced the DLI, are still in the DLI program, and it's a great way to integrate non-native English speakers into the district. And then a community-informed process. So I think it's very important that these changes encourage and draw out meaningful engagement from the community. That means early family and teacher input. It means transparent decision-making process on the part of the administration and the board, as well as clear equity impacts reported to the districts.
What, if anything, do you think the district needs to do about continuing disparities between white students and students of color?
Yeah, I think that it's clear, and Wisconsin has the worst Black student achievement gap in the nation. That's unacceptable. What I would really strive for is, again, around the meeting of basic needs first. We can't address achievement without addressing access. So that includes a universal breakfast program in every school. Why start with breakfast? Because you have 15% of Madison students who are food insecure. That doesn't just mean that they may have skipped breakfast. They may not have eaten dinner the night before. So imagine going 24 hours, showing up to school, trying to study, learn, and engage in a meaningful way. Transportation support to ensure consistent attendance, and mental health counselors at the recommended staffing ratios that I recommended earlier. I think there's evidence-based academic support as well. So research shows us what works and we need to implement it. So high dosage tutoring during the school day, not just after school. There are examples of tutoring throughout our school district, but high dosage and focused effort here is needed to get in front of those students who are behind. Early literacy intervention before third grade and expanded summer learning that feels engaging. It needs to feel fun, engaging, and worthwhile, not punitive in nature. And then I think the third piece, which I continue to hit on, which is clear metrics and accountability. What gets measured gets improved. We need monthly tracking of attendance and achievement data, and we need these equity audits of program access and clear goals for reducing the achievement gap.
Please tell us about other priorities you have for your term in office that we have not yet addressed and how you would propose addressing them.
Well, I think around special education, we face critical funding challenges. This goes to a bigger picture around our budget and around what's being sent to us from the state and federal levels, which is, wretchedly inadequate. So being an advocate for our district and other districts in the area at the state capital, I think is important. We face a $66 million special education funding gap. This affects every student and it affects every taxpayer in our district. So I'll advocate strongly for increased state support, ensuring that we're using current resources effectively and really push the state to increase reimbursement rates from our current 31% to closer to 90%. I'd also like to optimize staffing models while maintaining equity here and just recognizing that every student deserves high expectations and support. So through early identification and intervention, through evidence-based instructional practices and regular progress monitoring, I think these are the things that are going to be necessary to move the needle and continue to support our special needs kids.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
Well, yeah, just thanks again for this opportunity. I think when voters are watching this, what are they thinking about and how can I differentiate from my competitor? So I'll start with why I'm running. Number one, striving for student excellence through equity, making sure that every child has a no-cost, healthy breakfast to start the day. Prioritizing mental health resources for students, their families as well, and teachers and school staff. I think that's oftentimes overlooked, but it's those four groups that deserve our mental health resources, and supporting and expanding early intervention programs and advanced learning opportunities. Treating teachers as trusted professionals. So we need to examine and increase the teacher compensation package. We need to provide innovative professional development opportunities for teachers, and we need to make sure that teachers can maintain the freedom to teach and the classroom autonomy by reducing administrative burdens. And then third, prioritizing results and transparency. So geeks like me love to see data. We want to be able to measure to clear milestones, and we want to see that accountability that is publicly available. So that would look like this: quarterly public reports on school budget spending, on classroom resourcing, on student support services, and how are we spending that $507 million on the next group of 10 schools. And more user-friendly reporting, where parents and community members can view financial statements and track progress on district initiatives. And we need some narrative, some help interpreting what we are seeing as well. So finally, my qualifications, just to remind your voters, my teaching experience, understanding the classroom needs, my engineering skills, solving complex problems, the work I do in junior achievement with the student connections around financial literacy, around entrepreneurship and work readiness, my leadership as the PFL president, building community success at Cherokee Heights Middle School in partnership with the leaders and the teachers there, my parent perspective, And that's my personal investment and commitment to our public schools and my business background, effectively managing our resources. I'll just finish with a commitment to everyone here. I promise to listen to all voices, to focus on solutions, to measure what matters, because ultimately what matters is that every student deserves an adult in their life who believes deeply in their potential and is there to support them along their journey.
I want to thank Bret for speaking with us and thank the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that the general election is Tuesday, April 1st. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.